Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Lucinda, this is Yellow Chic Road. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Well, today we are having a closer look at the very beautiful Chanel Vintage Classic Flap in the medium large size. I've had this for quite a few months now and it is actually my first in this particular style, in this particular size, and I thought, given that, especially since the price increase in November with Chanel, the pricing for this bag is quite astronomical. It is insane. So it is very much an investment. And I started dabbling in the idea of going down the vintage route because this is, after all, a classic. It is classic Chanel. This particular style, I think, was introduced in the 80s. To be exact, and I managed to find this particular one from a designer consignment store called Designer Archives. They do have a website which I will link below, but I guess when it comes to vintage, it really does depend on whether you are willing to go, you know, with something that has been pre-loved, it has been well loved. And obviously you need to make sure that they are authentic when you are investigating the option of a vintage classic flap. I actually found out that this particular one was from, I think, around 1999, so it's a good 20 years old. And the reason why I thought this one would be a great buy is the quilting still seemed really nice and having, you know, it's a bit puffy. It's not really pressed in or flattened like you do see some of the quilting go. The hardware is just so beautiful. I will zoom you in eventually, but I just thought the gold was magnificent on this particular bag. It still was so shiny, didn't really have a lot of scratches. And given that this is from that time period, they did have all the hardware is actually 24 karat gold plated, and then you've got, of course, the beautiful Mona Lisa smile pocket at the back. And I think you can be a bit lucky with the vintage options. If you do your research, you can get something for a really decent price without too much wear or corner wear, which is one of the other little things that you have to look in for. And I was lucky that this particular one still had the original box, and it came with this cute little booklet that gave a really lovely, you know, run through on the leathers and care, and of course it had its serial card. I really find it important to get the serial card when you are buying pre-loved or secondhand. It's just a personal thing. Some people don't mind and they get, you know, their bags authenticated by an external service, but I just feel a little bit better about it when the serial card is included. So let's zoom in for some closer details. So as I mentioned, this is indeed 24 karat gold plated, so the yellowness, the shininess, the richness of the hardware really is stunning and really is, I guess, as timeless as it gets for Chanel. I didn't find that there was any real wear on this hardware. It is just in quite spectacular condition. The edges have a little bit of wear. I mean, it's very typical of this particular style to, you know, age in that way, and I don't find it particularly alarming or particularly, you know, it's not a no-go for me, I guess. The inside I found was super clean. You do find with virtually every single classic flap, they'll end up getting this sort of indentation from this upper zipper that is on the inside of the first flap. Again, unavoidable and not a deal breaker for me at all. And on this interior burgundy flap, I actually thought it was incredibly clean. You still have the beautiful, I'm not sure if you could see that, but the beautiful Chanel stamp there, and the gold is still very much prominent. It's not scratched in any way. You've got the two pockets here, plus your little lipstick pocket, and then obviously it is in the classic burgundy lining. The burgundy and the black is just such a beautiful combination, and so classically Chanel. This on the inside here, you've got where it was made. This one was indeed made in France. Again, not sure if you can see that, but you've got your little serial sticker in that bottom corner too, which obviously, if you're lucky enough to have the serial card, corresponds with the same numbers on that serial card. But this is just in such beautiful condition. Even the hardware on the inside of the turnlock there is just looking beautiful. I'm just so pleased. I really, as much as I've really gotten on the bandwagon of buying Preloved lately, particularly with some of the Chanel minis that I have, I really am surprised by how my willingness to go for Preloved, because I didn't think it was a world that I would initially dabble in, because I do love buying things Preloved, brand new from the boutiques, and you know, getting that whole experience. But really, there isn't a way of getting this exact look straight up now from the boutique, because there's something about that vintage effect that looks so beautiful. There's a character that comes along with it. And I just think, especially with most of us, it's a very tricky thing to be able to invest in a classic flap straight from the boutique. Given the current pricing and the ever-increasing pricing, this is just a beautiful way of getting that exact bag, that exact piece of, you know, Chanel icons without really shelling out that kind of cash. I will include Modshots, of course, just so you can see this on the body and just see how that gold shines. I hope you enjoyed the mod shots, and I hope you enjoyed this little review on a vintage Chanel classic flap in the medium large size. I think this is such a great size, easily can be carried from day to night. It looks incredibly timeless. You can carry this at any age and it looks beautiful and looks perfectly acceptable. I know it sometimes gets deemed an old lady bag, but I think if you just, you know, it depends how you play it up. You can put it with a great white shirt and jeans and keep it pretty cruisy, and it looks beautiful. It looks beautiful. What's not to love? It's classic. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.